Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the top 3 reasons I think Master Chief is acting up so much in Halo 5. A lot of people were talking about how he's just out of character, and that's kind of also what ruined Halo 5 because he was just acting so sporadic, he wasn't his self, and also just the rest of the game was trash. But we can talk about that later. But that's what we're going to be talking about. So, reason 1, obviously, the love of his life just died. He has never really had anyone that's cared for him like Cortana. The only time he's ever had any love or any compassion in his life was, obviously before he got abducted. But then after he, by his mentor, which if you read Halo Reach, you'll figure out who that is. I mean, not Halo Reach, but Fall of Reach. And then, obviously, Halsey trying to console all the children when they come in and, after they're abducted, into the huge hall where they were speaking. But he really needed that. Like, every human needs affection and compassion. He was in desperate need of it, and she was the only person that made sure he was okay, checked, make sure that he wasn't going into dangerous situations, had his back. He's never had that except for some of his teammates, but not to the extent that Cortana gave to him. And so he just lost this friend and person in his life that he truly loved. And you can just tell by the end of the Halo 4 how distraught he is. Another thing is in Halo 4, when the librarian is messing with his genome, enhancing everything, basically fast-forwarding his evolution for him to be able to survive the Didact, because she could predict that most likely he was going to be hit by the Didact's beam, or ray, or whatever you want to call it, and die. And he was pretty much humanity's last hope to be able to survive. Even though millions still died, he still saved humanity. And that's why she did it. But there's also another little part that I've been trying to research, but it hasn't really come up too well. But so it's just a theory. First of all, he might have gotten an extended life from that. That's why he's still doing so well at the age that he is. Also, just made him stronger, smarter, gained more intelligence. But most of all, it was more of a body healing process. Through all the augmentation he went through, he had a lot of I wouldn't say disabilities because he's pretty badass, but there were certain things about him that just inhibited him from doing certain things because of some augmentations went better than others. He still functioned way better than any human, but he could still function even better than that just because of the technology at the time. Also, that might have sparked regeneration of his sterilization. So instead of being just I don't feel able to do it, he might now have hormones now. So he might be an angry little teenager or a emo teenager that just lost his girlfriend. Because I think that's pretty much how he acted in Halo 5. He was very just emotional. But that's another reason I feel because it kind of makes sense with how he acted in the end of Halo 4 and into Halo 5, but once they release more information about that, he might, it might be true, it might be not, but I don't know. That's just a little tidbit that I wanted to throw in there. Number 3. This is the heavyweight one. This is the one that goes in a little bit more into detail. But at the end of Halo 4, when he's in Lasky's ship, Lasky and him are talking. He's like, I can't even imagine what you're going through. You even see how Master Chief reacts just by the subtle movements of him having his hands by his side, and just, he kind of almost like just rubs his thighs nervously, like very, very slightly. And that might also be a like side effect of the hormones, is he is actually getting nervous and he doesn't know what to do. This is the first time he's like, I have no idea, I don't know what to do. I have no strategy for what's happened. I can't comprehend this loss. But he also goes into, you aren't a machine. You aren't some piece of military hardware. You are a human. You are an actual human. And Master Chief is just like, she said that to me once. And the fact that that's the last thing he said in Halo 4, I think that's really important that they left it off on that. With that being the last thing he said. Because I think that just shows that he's starting to begin to understand his identity and understand himself as a human, and not this just military hardware that can be thrown around and just do whatever they want. They are, like, the Spartans are humans, and he never really thought of himself as that before. Because he's always been trained that you're going to be the best of the best, you're going to do whatever you're told, and that's just how it goes. And when he is told that, he thinks, you know what, I am a human. Even though, like, so many people counted on me for so long to be this magic person that could basically save the universe with a snap of a finger because he's just that badass. But now he realizes that he can't just try to please everyone else and help humanity. He has to help himself. Now that he's taken away, at that time, humanity's greatest threat, he had to look into himself and figure out what threats were facing him, like, emotionally. And as, like, him being a human being, like, what was threatening his humanity. And as it goes into the diadact speaking, I think that's a really good part too. A little chunk of lore if you haven't really dug into that speech. At the end of the diadact speech, you see him walking into the ship to get his armor taken off. And as he's trudging through the ship, you can see how heavy he feels. You can normally, like, he holds himself up pretty well because he's like, I'm in the armor. It holds itself up pretty much. That's how the armor works. But he seems like it's almost weighing him down. And that armor, I feel like, is a symbolism of his emotions at that point. His, like, ability that he has to save the human race. He has to be that step between the destruction and the salvation of humanity. And that's a lot of weight to have on someone. And also the weight of him just losing the one person he cared about most. And there's so much, I mean, I could go into, like, all the little details of what that armor symbolizes, but you can probably imagine a lot of things. He's gone through a lot of things. And at the end of the cutscene, you see his armor just slowly clunking off. And I think that's actually a symbolism for his emotional armor. Him actually giving in to his feelings for once. And getting rid of it, shedding that armor so that he can become a human. So he's not just a machine, and he can feel the hurt from Cortana dying. He can feel the joy from saving humanity and be able to see it rise another day. And I just think that's a really important part in Halo. Like, Halo 4 was very symbolistic, and that was probably my favorite part of him just taking off that armor. And then Halo 5, you can see that, yes, he is still very heavy-hearted, and he's reminiscing, but at the very beginning, you can see that he's a little more talkative. He's, communicating with his team. When he was in the Pelican, they were saying how he hasn't let, him have, he hasn't had any, free time or to do anything. He's been going at it for months, and they've never seen him go that hard. But you can also see him talk a little bit more. And when he sees that Cortana's alive, you can see almost the light in his visor, just like, oh my gosh, I have to go do this. I have to go after her. I have to go after my dream of being with her and save her. So it's just so many aspects wrap up in the end of Halo 4 and in the beginning of Halo 5. That's why I was so disappointed that you only play as Master Chief for such a little time, 3 or 4 missions. Seriously? It's a Halo game. Halo 2 didn't even do that. But, so, that's my 3 reasons. Kind of sporadic, but I think that I kind of touched bases with them enough that you can generally guess how I feel about those 3 little snidbits. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I'm almost at 100. I'm 2 subscribers away from being at 100 subscribers, and that's amazing. I wouldn't be able to imagine to do this a couple weeks ago when I first started really posting. And then when I first posted a year ago, I didn't even imagine I would get 2 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. Leave a like, leave a comment if you think I should do something different or talk about a different aspect of Halo, or if you want me to make something or play games or just play with me. Let me know. Subscribe, first of all, and then hit that little bell button. And if you want to, go check out my Instagram. I have a lot more content over there. I have Halo stuff that I'm making. I have cosplay stuff, daily life stuff, but mainly Halo. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and you have a wonderful day.